Ho-Oh is back in raid battle, so is it going to be worth your time, energy, and effort to power this Pokemon up to raid for it and to go for it? We're going to check that out in the top attacker analysis today in Pokemon Go. So welcome to the Trader Club, here we go! Welcome back, Ho-Oh and Pokemon Go. Is it your favorite? Do you enjoy the shiny? Are you going after XL Candy? Do you even know what to do with this Pokemon? Because today, I will answer all of those questions for you in this video. This Pokemon is coming back all the way for 2 weeks. So you have exactly 2 weeks to be able to get it, and I want to make sure you know everything about it. So this Pokemon is going to be a fire and a flying type Pokemon, which is a cool combination, but at the same time, it has a lot of resistances, but it does have double weaknesses that we talked about in the counter guide. If you want to see that, check it out up here. This Pokemon will max out at 4367, so it does get quite high. It has an attack value of 239, a defense of 244, and a stamina of 214, so it's a very relatively even-keeled Pokemon, but that is what raises the CP of this Pokemon so high. As opposed to a very attack-friendly Pokemon that will take all the way to be able to get it to the top, this one is able to be even-keeled and get up there, so it is tanky, and it is going to do some damage at the same time. And as far as the strengths and weaknesses of this Pokemon, like I talked about, it will be double weak to rock, single weak to water, and single weak to electric, but it only has 3 weaknesses, which is quite cool. And as far as the resistances go, it's going to double resist grass and double resist bug. And it will have single resistance to fairy, fighting, fire, ground, as well as steel. And obviously, let's not forget that the shiny of this Pokemon is a gold winged color that looks really cool. But obviously, looking cool and functioning well, they are 2 totally different things, but it would be really cool if we could combine them and have a dual functioning Pokemon for this aspect. So, as far as the moveset goes, it gets Extra Sensory, which is a psychic move. It's going to get Hidden Power, which means it can have a myriad of different moves, including Fire move in there. It will also get Incinerate, as well as Steel Wing, which is going to be a Steel type move. And then as far as its charge moves, up front, it will be able to get Solar Beam, Fire Blast, as well as Brave Bird, and then it's going to have legacy moves of Sacred Fire and Earthquake. And I'm going to point out another thing about this Pokemon. So we did get a specific Apex Shadow Pokemon that you could have it as an Apex or you could purify it. And that Pokemon as a Shadow gets Sacred Fire Plus, and as a non-Shadow, it will get Sacred Fire Plus Plus, which is a stronger Sacred Fire move. So when we are looking at this Pokemon in a DPS times TDO breakdown, since that moveset is going to be stronger, that will be a featured move. However, we have to take into consideration that this Ho-Oh will not be able to get that moveset, and it can only come on the Apex Pokemon. And if you look to Elite TM Sacred Fire onto this Pokemon, that will be the only way to be able to get that move. You cannot get the plus or the plus plus from an Elite TM because that only comes from one specific Pokemon that we already have. Alright, so now we know all the details and the basics of this Pokemon. Now let's change over into talking about its strength. So if you guys do want more raid battles, you want to check out ability to be able to raid for this Pokemon more, you can check the pin comments below, jump into the Discord, or you can check out the Patreon at the premier Discord raider groups to get into raid groups, or you can take it all the way to Elite and raid with me as well, all in the pin comments below. So as far as this Pokemon, we're now going to check out DPS times TDO, which is damage per second times total damage output, and they're going to clump that into a value called the ER value, which is a better recommendation than DPS times TDO because it takes into account tankiness as well. Alright, so if we do look at this Pokemon, let's check out the Shadow Ho-Oh first. Incinerate and Brave Bird is actually the strongest moveset for this Pokemon combination, which is very surprising. I totally thought it would be the Sacred Fire Plus, but that is not the case. So the Brave Bird combination is 44.99, which is extremely impressive. Then if we look at the Sacred Fire Plus, that will be 43.85. Keep going down the list, we can then check out the Sacred Fire Plus with a bunch of different movesets there. But the regular Pokemon, Ho-Oh, obviously, like I talked about, the Sacred Fire Plus Plus will be the strongest moveset combination for that one, but we can't really take that into account. With the regular one, we do want to see the Incinerate and the Brave Bird at 39.15, which is actually not too much different than the Shadow, which is pretty impressive. And that Hidden Power is such a prevalent moveset in here, so it's a little bit hard to navigate. So if we do look at the Ho-Oh with Incinerate and Fire Blast at 34.74, that's going to be what I want you guys to encapsulate in your mind. We also want to take into account the Brave Bird as well. Okay, so a little bit challenging to be able to navigate this Pokemon, but now let's check it out in the DPS times TDO ER value against the Fire type and then the Flying type. Alrighty, in the Fire category, let's check it out. So we obviously have Mega Charizard Y and then Mega Blaziken coming in at the top at 51 and 51.65. Reshiram right up there with a non-Mega, top non-Mega in the game, which is going to be 46.8. Not even Shadow either. Mega Charizard X. Then we have Shadow Entei coming in there, 44.12. Shadow Ho-Oh, 43.85. Shadow Moltres, 43.75. So if we are looking at the best Fire type in the game to be able to power up, yes, it does take fake XL candies, but Reshiram is going to hold the cake right now. Mega Houndoom, Shadow Charizard, and then we have the regular Ho-Oh with Incinerate and Sacred Fire plus. But however, 36.18 will be the moveset combination to check out this regular Ho-Oh, because that's going to be the Sacred Fire combination when going after these fire type Pokemon. So if we go to the second page, you can see all these other Pokemon in here include Chandelure there, and it's actually going to be below the Chandelure at 37.61. So as far as a fire type attacker, we obviously have a better candidate and other candidates that are going to do much better than this Pokemon. However, let's also check it out in the flying category. So if we do check out all these Pokemon, all flying types, just remember Mega Rayquaza at the top, not out yet. Shadow Moltres in there, Shadow Ho-Oh with Brave Bird at 42 and 46 respectively. Then we have the Mega Pidgeot, Shadow Honchkrow, and then the regular Ho-Oh is going to be below Moltres at 37.34 compared to the 39.78 with the Moltres. So as far as a meta attacker, we have better fire types. Reshiram is going to be better than this Pokemon quite significantly, and this Pokemon does not get the Sacred Fire plus to be able to TM into because it is not an Apex Pokemon, which makes it unfortunate. But what I could recommend is that if you want to power up your Apex Pokemon, you can use this XL candy from raiding for it and get that Pokemon powered up. So it's not a dead cause because that Pokemon is pretty strong, even though the regular Reshiram is better than the Shadow Ho-Oh. So that would mean you don't have to use the extra Stardust to be able to power up a Shadow Pokemon right there. But now let's check it out in GBL. In the Ultra League, it's ranked 170 for the non-Shadow and 223 for the Shadow, so not super relevant. But in the Master League, it's going to be ranked 24 for the regular and 27 for the Shadow with Incinerate, Brave Bird, and Sacred Fire. So yes, it is relevant here. It has a lot of resistances. Is it going to be the Pokemon that I recommend you guys power up and go after a lot? I honestly don't really think so. I think a lot of people do use it for GBL, and it does have the purpose in there. But like I just talked about, Reshiram with a brand new Fusion Flare moveset makes it extremely powerful in Pokemon Go, and it is the recommended top fire type in the game, even over the Shadow Ho-Oh, that you can save your resources. You can even get them as lucky Pokemon and power them up for so much less cost than is this Ho-Oh going to be. So wow, that is impressive. Ho-Oh, cool looking shiny, get the shiny. If it's useful for you, you can use it, but beyond that, there are better Pokemon out there. So thank you guys for tuning in as always. Appreciate you guys, to my likers, comments, subscribers, Patreon members. Everybody takes their support, subscription, and puts it to the next level. See you guys out in the next video. Peace.
I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.